Welcome to the Christian Life Coach Podcast. I am Coach Shanna P, your Christian life coach. This is where we are all about shedding the excess mental and physical weight that is keeping us stuck and holding us back from living the life that God intended for us to live. I am getting towards the end of my first series on weight loss in this podcast. And we have been talking about weight loss that doesn't involve quick fixes, doesn't involve shame, obsessing over food. And this episode goes right along with this. And it is all about doing the new you. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Our identity drives what we do. Who you identify as leads to what you do in your job, what you do in life, how you interact with people. So while the things that we do matter, what matters really is who we are. So who we are is based on our thoughts. Who do we believe ourselves to be? We talk about in my coaching the creation cycle, which is rooted in cognitive behavioral therapy. And the premise is the way that you think creates emotion in your body, and your emotions drive your actions. And then the actions that you take accumulate and they produce the results that you experience in life. So if you're not seeing the results that you want in life, what we're quick to do is just try to change behavior. And you can sustain that only for so long. That is going to be where willpower comes in, white knuckling, and willpower is a limited resource. We run out of that. So if we don't just focus on changing the behavior, but we move up the cycle or back up into the cycle, and we look at what do we believe to be true about ourselves? What are the thoughts that we have about ourselves? And that, questioning that, looking at that, changing that, that is what renewing your mind is all about. And that is where true change happens. So if you believe deep down that you never stick with anything, you always give up, then you feel discouragement. And that discouragement leads to quitting on yourself and giving up. And it perpetuates the cycle. So what if you shifted that belief, if you worked on, practiced shifting that belief from I never stick with anything to I'm learning to show up consistently. I am working on following through. This matters to me, so I'm going to stick with it. And those thoughts create hope. They create encouragement. They create anticipation. And then they lead to actions that move you in the direction that you want to go, creates momentum. Momentum leads to motivation, and you continue in that cycle. And then your thoughts change to, I am a person who is consistent. I'm a person that does what I say I'm going to do. I'm a person that takes care of my body. Romans 12:2, what this podcast is based on. Do not be transformed. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that is what we're doing consistently, renewing our mind, practicing thinking in a way that creates the emotion that leads to the actions that we want to take. And it begins with who we believe that we are, what are our thoughts about ourselves. So what we want to do is we want to work on letting go of the past. Let go of the labels that you have lived under up until this point. The past failures, the versions of yourself that you're ashamed of. You can't create a new result from an old identity. So pause and ask yourself, what are the labels that I'm operating under that are no longer serving me? What are the things that I'm telling myself? What is that internal dialogue that is on repeat that's trying to keep me from moving forward, keep me from changing? Write it all down. And with the utmost grace and compassion, let it go. Let that past go. Because again, you can't create a new result from an old identity. So let's let that old identity go. And then let's look to the future. Who is the version of you who has attained the weight loss or the health goal that you want, that you're working towards, that you dream of? Envision her, envision you as her, the version of yourself that has built and sustained healthy habits. She's not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but she's consistent. She has peace. She's strong and capable. She doesn't live in perfection. It's not all or nothing. She listens to her body. She speaks kindly to herself. She knows who she is, and she allows herself to show up as her full self. Thinking about her, you are her. How do you dress? What do your mornings and your evenings look like? How do you think when you're stressed or tired? How do you handle that? And here's the thing. She's not some distant fantasy that one day maybe you'll arrive at being. She's you. She's in you right now. You have everything that you need to be that version of yourself. And you can envision her and take action from being her, not towards being her. She's already here. She's already in you. So how can you start acting from her today, not towards becoming her? And here's a little practical exercise using the creation cycle. And this is intentionally rewiring your brain by renewing your mind. Notice unhelpful thoughts. I always mess up. And when you think I always mess up, what's the thought or the feeling that you have? Acknowledge that emotion. I feel guilt, maybe defeated, maybe shame. Ask yourself, is this thought true? I always mess up. What is the evidence for the thought, I always mess up? And what is the evidence against the thought, I always mess up? And really, can it be true that I always mess up? No, of course not. So then you can reframe it with a more helpful, kind, loving thought. I've had setbacks, but I'm learning to be consistent. I gave into this and I'm going to make the next best choice. So how can you change the way that you're thinking so that you aren't operating from that negative emotion? So notice the unhelpful thought, acknowledge how you're feeling, question the thought. Is it even 100% true? Is this true? What's the evidence for this thought? What's the evidence against this thought? And then reframe it into something that's more helpful. And it might not go from, I always mess this up, to I do everything perfectly. It might, you might do some steps. I'm working on being consistent. I'm learning to get right back on track when I have a setback. And so it's not about going from the negative to happy sunshine land. You want it to be true and helpful. And you do this, you practice this. And as you practice this, you are rewiring your brain and you are renewing your mind. It's science, it's psychology, and it's biblical truth. The idea is to live from who you're becoming. Who is that future version of you who is living this life, and live from her. So what does this look like? What are the things that she does? She hydrates. I'm going to drink my water today because my future self prioritizes hydration. I am going to keep my commitment to myself and go for a walk because my future self knows that when I move more, I stress less. I am going to get the rest that I need because I know that that is what is best for me. And it's not fake it until you make it. It's not toxic positivity. It's practicing thinking in a way that leads to the emotions, that creates the actions to get you the results that you're wanting, to become the person that you want to be. Toxic positivity is poly sunshine, just think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts. The difference is when we're using the creation cycle, we're acknowledging the negative feelings. We're examining them. We're listening to what they have to tell us. We're noticing. And then we're practicing being who we want to be. Ephesians 4:23 and 24 says, be continually renewed in the spirit of your mind, having a fresh, untarnished mental and spiritual attitude, and put on the new self, the regenerated and renewed nature, created in God's image, godlike, in the righteousness and holiness of the truth, living in a way that expresses to God your gratitude for your salvation. You don't have to earn this new identity. You are given it. It is in you. Walk in it. One small step that you can take today is take a few minutes, get out your journal, and imagine being the you that is walking around the world at your goal weight, wearing your goal size. And that's her life. That's how she operates in life now. She doesn't even really have to think about it that much anymore. Ask her, what does she want you to know today? What does she want to tell you? And what do you today need to hear from her? And then how can you make this process of becoming easy and enjoyable? So those are the 3 questions that you can answer. What does future you want you to know today? What do you need to hear from future you? And how can you make this process of becoming easy and enjoyable? To embody and become the person that God wants you to be, that He created you to be, and to walk in confidence and peace and love and joy, it takes renewing your mind. And you can do this by practicing every day. You're becoming that new version of you, one renewed thought at a time. I would love to hear what you think about this. If you have any questions, if you want to dive deeper into this work and work one-on-one with me, you can go to my website or in the show notes and schedule a right fit call, and we can talk about how coaching can help you in your journey. Next week, I believe I'll be wrapping up the weight loss series for now. And we're going to be talking about consistency and how to build consistency, because lasting change isn't always about doing it right. It's just showing up again and again and keep going, keep going. So you've got this. God has you. Life coaching is life changing, one thought at a time. Thank you for being here. I would love to hear from you. Subscribe, like, give me a review. If you're listening or watching in a place you can comment, I would love to hear from you. How is this work helping you? What would you like to see or hear in the future? So reach out. Thank you so much.